This is the EGC 20K Age of Empires 4 tournament. The quarterfinals are on, the last 8 generals are battling it out, and the fight continues. Hail, traveler! You've stepped off the boat into Boulder Bay. My name's Anuki, and the only time I've been on a ship, I played non-stop Time Crisis in French. Action! Constructing a petite village along the east coast line. Commanding the armies of France, it's Vortix! Setting sail over to the ocean in the very west. Commanding the hordes of Mongols draped in yellow. Ooh, that's different. It is Kasva! The docks are on their way and instructing the villagers to chop chop. But before we get into this match, here's the situation. It's a best of 5 and the score currently is 2 to Vortix, 1 to Kasva. This has put Vortix in a favorable position, not just because they only need one more win to go to the semi-finals, but because they can choose France on Boulder Bay, a highly demanded civilization for this watery map because of their unique ship known as the Hulk. A very powerful ship indeed. Let's try a civilization breakdown then. On water maps, the Mongols can get faster transport ships with more health. Ooh, I get the feeling though, that's not gonna matter. It is not a good idea to try and fight the Hulk ships on water. Sending transport ships with 16 souls waiting to be lost at sea? It's too much to risk. Too much for the imagination to bear. The thought of those consequences is detestable. So what about on land? Well, that is the question, isn't it? And this is where it gets tricky because 3 weeks in and there is a lack of observational data for this given scenario, but I can provide general analysis. Kasva needs to be careful not to donate too much to the Great French Sea and leave themselves with a literal sunk cost fallacy. The French Hulks will tear through their little floaty wooden overpriced death traps easily. Getting a few fishing boats, though, can still net a small positive, and it's important to try and make France buy those Hulks because they are expensive. 4 Hulks would almost be 1,000 gold. There is plenty of resources on land in Boulder Bay, and it does encourage a second or even third town center. And that's kind of it for the general analysis of Boulder Bay, France v Mongols, based on the data that exists 3 weeks in, without overly repeating a ton about France. Now, to keep things fresh for a bit, a bit of a change, because we have seen a lot of France, and I don't like subjecting you to the same drivel. I'll extend forth my RTS imagination, see if that interests you. As France, I would still dominate the water, but careful not to overinvest, like mentioned. Take the Chamber of Commerce, because the 20% training speed on stables isn't useful. Just buy an extra stables, it's a bit of wood. Boom, you've offset that 20% training speed. Getting trading ships with 0 chance of your trade route being disrupted, that is priceless. So be offensive on water to that end, but defensive on land. Get walls up, stop any attack from land, position whatever hulks safely around your coastline, and look out for transport ships, which is unlikely, but there's no reason to delete those hulks just yet. Then, just push out with a large army thanks to your huge economy from water trade, and try and put down a castle in key locations and choke the Mongols. Trade into the dock will provide wood, not just gold, and with the Chamber of Commerce you can select whatever resource you want to trade for. You can swap out gold and trade it for food instead. You'll get a little bit more food. You'll need nothing but ships. How great is that? The plan for France is quite simple when compared to the Mongols. Now, as for the Mongols, ooh, okay, there is a silver tree going down. This fits in with what I was going to say, and we'll get to that soon. So, as the Mongols, yes, get a few fishing boats, don't just give up the water. Try and make friends invest as much in the water as possible, but know that it is a losing fight. If you don't make friends fight for the water, they will attack you on land. You could attack in the Dark Age with horsemen, but success is unlikely because you'll be attacking a town center very far away. Big travel time. So get a load of wood, get more town centers, use stone to get those better resource gathering techs from the Uvu/Ger, and try and get to the Castle Age. As soon as you hit the Feudal Age with the Silver Tree, you can start producing traders. They are cheaper and faster to train with this landmark. Hey, there's a barracks down here as well. That's quite quick. Going over to the Uvu. So if you get 7 traders going, you'll get an additional 10% food, wood, and gold, based on, the amount of gold that is being traded. Stick that silver tree in the corner, hugging the edge of the map, build outposts. I mean, you can't build walls as Mongols, so why not use that as an excuse to build some outposts? Why? Well, you don't lose out on the Yam movement speed aura because we've not gone the deer stones. You can still get that in Age 3 as a research. So just dot 1 near each marketplace and a couple in between for vision and protection and movement speed. Look at all this wood along the coast. Remember what I mentioned earlier about transport ships? Well, there's less landing locations with the forest here. Really useful for Vortix, and they can wall off this space very easily. Keep the demons out and the freshness in. That's what I say. Oh, and one more thing. Boulder Bay has really good boar spawns. Great source of food for 8 villagers just to get on, train a few soldiers, and smack it. But I was unfinished about my story regarding the traders as Kasva's card spots the big gold mine being devoured by the blue villagers. So with about 20 traders, very interesting outpost, corner to corner you're getting about 1,500 gold per minute and about 150 food and wood a minute too. It might be a good idea to try and keep your militia inside the stealth forests when near the coastline. We see plenty of ships ballistering poor beachgoers, and now is the time for the Hulk. That's them right now knocking on the poor fishing boats. Kasva hasn't overly invested into fishing boats though, so that's okay. I will come back to my story on trading. We do have a couple of traders out too for Kasva, but not much protection. Where are those spears? So if we compare 1,500 gold, there they are, 1,500 gold per minute from 20 traders to 20 workers with no upgrades, that's about 800 gold per minute. The steps readout would take that to 1,200 gold per minute. We do have the outpost going up. Now, I do think it's a little bit early for the outposts, but it's nice for the vision. You can't get the Yam network upgrade until Castle Age. So anyway, that's the gold sorted at least, but we also need food. Get a load of sheep farms. So you've got a heavy source of gold from trading, heavy food from the sheep farms. Get to the Castle Age as fast as possible. Use that for men-at-arms, heavy cavalry, and crossbows against friends. Be ready to use cavalry against French siege units. And there we go. I will leave it there because I want to rejoin what's going on, because this is getting interesting. Royal Knights hammering a trader, which I think was double produced. The problem with outposts in the feudal age is that they barely do any damage to knights when upgraded. So Kasva is going to have to manually protect this trade route, and it's important for them to do so. A single knight can, as we were seeing, do so much damage. The protection needs to be there first. Sneaking and trading isn't going to happen. Vortix saw the silver tree, and that telegraphs that trade will be happening. If Vortix has their units control the neutral marketplace on land, then no trades can be made, so an army is required. All the sea belongs to Vortix, and it was a cheap buy too, a single Hulk. It's a bit worse for wear, but other than that, what a deal. The only winning move is to not play battleships. That kind of logic might hurt Kasva. I'm impressed with how quickly the traders are stacking up as we see them cross the map, those little yellow dots. But I'm still concerned with the level of protection. Kasva didn't fight on the sea, so Vortix hasn't invested much into oceanic dominatus. And that means they've been able to teach people how to shoot bows and ride horses and disregard any modicum of tactics. Attack move, job's done. The traders, they are in big trouble. There's even time for a battering ram. Wow, this is spiraling out of control. No buildings can withstand the power of a ram 10 minutes in. Now imagine if Vortix had to buy another Hulk or two. That's these knights on screen gone. Never born into this universe. Never to know the feeling of the air flowing between their fingertips. As the blade carves through a villager named Tom. Or Tim. I don't know, it's too hard to read their name badge on horseback. But the point being, strategic losses. Losing a battle in one place might just mean you win the important battle elsewhere. This is actually a really important area of conversation for games like Company of Heroes and Men of War, which I'm deeply passionate about, but I love all RTS. If one turned up on my doorstep starving and hungry, I'd feed it and let it name itself when it comes of age. But I love that we're seeing this answer of traditional strategy in Age of Empires 4. This is strategy which applies to the real world. Classic Age of Empires and StarCraft and Command & Conquer exists kind of in their own worlds, and playing faster is a priority skill. But in Age of Empires 4, it's showing us slightly more depth to strategy and tactics. I'm enjoying it, and that's why I'm making these videos, obviously, but I hope you enjoy it too. And it's why these videos are not monetized. You pay with your soul. If you wish to opt out of Soul Collection, you can do so at discord.me/Ironcast. Just say the magic word. We are looking to do some big 2v2, 3v3, and 4v4 civilization wars, so Civ v Civ, Mongols versus Chinese, or England versus France. If you want to get involved, that would be great. Anyway, double battering rams and more outposts going to slow them down? But what's going to slow down the Royal Knights and Archers, you might ask? Whatever should have stopped them. It should have been out before the traders. The battering rams will gladly strip these towers down. All the while, Vortix adds to their growing army. They aren't in a rush either. Feeling fairly confident with the way things are going. Kasva sitting up the small incline with spears and horsemen. A decent counter, but too small of a force to withstand Vortix's march. And the traders just idling at the back too. Villagers get slightly stung. Kasva orders to defend, the Hulk offering coastline support. All the difficulties and obstacles are mounting up for Kasva to try and overcome. Vortix showing why France is strong on this map. It's demoralizing, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, and crumbling cookies is demotivating. A cycle of endless mind torture and cookie crumbs. The spears can't get close to fight the Royal Knights, and the archers easily microed back to kill the spears as they try. This is bleak for Kasva, as their town center is pressured, but I do want to praise the enormous fact that they at least attempted something different. And granted, they couldn't play France here as they won with France on the last map, but ignoring that fact, the true nature of real-time strategy is not about the winning, it's about how you win. And I will always side with the player at a disadvantage. I'm not loyal though. As soon as they get the advantage, I'll jump ship and side with their enemy, leaving a perpetual war that never ends. The white flag is raised, and the Mongols lay defeated. Congratulations to Vortix! They will move into the semi-finals with this win. But this is the saddest I have felt. An emptiness dwells within. Kasva endeavored to show us something different, but was unable to gain traction to show us something truly magnificent. The French strategy practiced 1,000 times obviously won against the Mongol trade strategy rarely practiced. But anyway, we've got more EGC games coming right up. Don't you miss it. Do check the video description and fuel up on food and drink in the meantime. And yeah, my name's Anuki. Let's reconvene soon.